In this video, I'm going to share with you the Cowboy Fly, but before I do, let me give you a little background on the fly. So this fly was shared with me by a friend named Chris Sparkman a few years ago. Chris is a fellow rod builder. He's a bamboo rod maker, a craftsman, and somebody who's inspired me both on the stream and in my own workshop. Chris and I both volunteer at Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing, where we teach rod building, fly tying, casting, and then when there's no pandemic, we might actually get out and guide vets on the water. You know, what's so special about this fly? Well, Chris learned about this fly 40 years ago. Some old man on a stream out west gave him the fly, and he doesn't remember the old man's name. He was wearing a cowboy hat, so Chris coined it the Cowboy Fly. There's history and tradition behind this fly, and I'm connected to it. You know, I'm connected to the fly through Chris. It's a very minimalist fly. It's deer hair on a hook. It's natural material, and it came at a time in my fishing career that when I was really looking to minimalize, just pare it all down to technique over tackle. And this fly really embodies that, but it also embodies fellowship. So, you know, and me having a connection now to that fly is something special. You know, and I fish it more confidently. I have confidence in it because of the tradition and the story, and you know, I'm more loyal to it. So I'll just keep tying it on and fishing it. Let's just tie the fly. Okay, the hook in the vise is a standard dry fly hook in a size 12. This is a Mustad 94840. I'm going to use tan thread. I'm using 6/0, but I recommend using 3/0 for working with deer hair. But I don't have 3/0, and so I'm going to use this. We're going to start about 1/8 of an inch back on the hook and lay down a bed of thread. And we'll take this down to about just past the hook point, between the hook point and the barb, where the barb would be. I've mashed it down. I'm using a longer coastal deer hair in a natural. You can use shorter as well. This is a little easier to tie with on camera, but the short is a much better quality. Not thrilled with the quality of this stuff, but it works fine. It floats. I'm going to take the about that much, so that's probably about 1/3 of a pencil width. I'm going to take all the fluffies out, all that under fur and short hair. Just comb it out. Look at all that. Take all that material out, because that'll get in the way when you're trying to get that thread to grip onto the hair. All right, now you don't have to stack it. You could just tie it in just like that, but I'm going to stack it. Put a few extra long ones in there. Get rid of those. All right, the tail, we're going to make this tail about as long as the hook gap. So whatever that distance is where you're gonna be the length of the tail. So right about there. I'm going to switch hands and pinch it from the back. I'm going to hold this, if you can see. I'm holding this in a vertical fashion. Everything's sort of stacked up along my fingers. Carefully switch hands and just use pinching wraps. Just pull it loosely, pinching wraps. And then a third, just tighten up on the third. Remember, this is 6/0, so I don't want to go too crazy. And it's gonna spread out like that. That's fine. Just like that. Gather up all that material. Give it some wraps in the front. I like to wrap in the front. I would also wrap in the back. I'm not going to do that this time, but you could throw a wrap in there. I'm not going to bother. Bring it up to the tie-in point, right about there. We want to leave enough room for our head, and then gather that material up again nice and neat, and just holding it along the top of the hook, pinch it and do a few loose wraps, and then pull it tight. A couple more wraps, pull it tight. Okay. Gather that material up again, pull it to the rear, put some wraps in front. And that's about it. Just finish with some whip finishing wraps. And you can use head cement on this. It's not a terribly durable fly, but you can see it takes no time to tie this. We're not done yet. We still have to trim all that craziness at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it even with this. We're going to pull all that material back and trim it even with that first tie-in. So we're going to pull it back. Slip our scissors in there, trim. And then everything else you can just trim it off even with that. If you want. I mean, it's ready to go. It's ready to fish. Put some floating on that. And that'll be great. You could put some head cement on it too. I would recommend doing that. On the thread point, so here and then down inside there. I like to push this back when I put the floating on, and maybe pull it off to the side. You get a different profile. That wing. You can also pull it straight up and then flatten the top down like that, so it's more of a parachute style. So pretty simple fly. If you're accustomed to tying with deer hair, it takes a little practice. If you're out of practice, it's a good material to use. You know, it's not expensive, and that's the fly, the Cowboy. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Once again, thank you for your support. See you next time.